Could you please stand up?
Maybe we can stand. Good suggestion.
Okay, so your budget plans to cut $1 trillion in the first year and balance the budget in 3. It stands in stark contrast with a lot of the other candidates. Why do you feel that cutting spending is important? A lot of people say that we need to spend more in order to stimulate the economy.
Well, actually, the country doesn't spend less. The government spends less. When you cut the federal budget, the people get to spend more. And when the people spend the money, they spend it with a much better, much more wisdom than when the government spends it. The government, actually, we lose twice. If they take $1 trillion out of our pockets, you lose $1 trillion. If the government spends $1 trillion, they usually spend it getting themselves into trouble, whether it's overseas spending, that's a waste, or if they spend it on bureaucrats, that's a waste. That's putting more pressure on us, and then we have to have additional expenses for overcoming the bureaucracy. So I think we really lose twice that way. But we need to cut $1 trillion if we're serious. The proposed cuts so far aren't really cuts. They're cuts on proposed increases. They have what they call baseline budgeting. The budget goes up automatically at a certain rate. And if you cut $1 trillion over 10 years, that's $100 billion per year that they're going to cut on the proposed increases. But today, now just compare, $100 billion a year cut on proposed increases versus what's happening today. The budget's going up $100 billion of real costs every month. So that is a fantasy. It has nothing to do with cuts. And nobody's talking about it. Right now, they're nearly hysterical about some of these mandated cuts because of the super committee. They're talking about cuts, and Obama mentioned they were going to cut something out of the military. There are no cuts proposed, whether they're Democrats or Republicans. There are only cuts on these wild proposed increases. They're not willing to admit that this country can't continue to run up a deficit of $1.5 trillion a year. It's growing exponentially, and if we're serious, we have to get the federal government out of our wallets and out of our lives, and we have to let the people spend the money. Then we have a much better chance of regaining prosperity.
GrokTV.